now for the Shop Report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. Before we go into today's topics and announce our hosts, co-hosts, guests, there's a few things I'd like to point out. Now, typically we start our broadcast at 8 o'clock. But unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we started at 8 o'clock, but I had a technical issue. And while my co-host and I we would continue to record what we thought we were recording, we were not. We were trying to, at the same time, fix the technical issues, and we have done that. So let me apologize for all of our listeners out there, all of our callers who would like to call in, who don't get a chance to call in. We are now back up and running. Thank you for your support, like Bartles and James used to say. Secondly, due to the high call volume of last week's show, there were people who could not get through. And I want to say, as I've said before, and I will continue to say, we are what we are in this platform because of the people. So we thank the people. We are grateful for the people for their support in all facets of what we do, whether it's our social media, whether it's right here on Spreaker, whether it's through text, message, email, it don't matter. I'm just the driver. What we are and what we've gotten to from where we started and to this point now ain't got nothing to do with me. It's because of you. And again, we say thank you. At the same time, going forward, for all of those people who want to call in or who do call in, who would like to call in, to make room for everybody as best we can, we are saying here now, or I'm saying here now, when you call in, I will do my best to give you as much time as I possibly can for you to have your say, but please be mindful that we have to make room for others. Please be mindful. And again, it's because of you we are growing. So, thank you. Now, joining me on the program today is none other than my cat from the NYC, a.k.a. Rucker Park, Brother Rich. Brother Rich, what's happening, man?
Good, sir. Always honored to be on this platform with you and certainly the rest of our hosts and all of these wonderful listeners.
Uh-huh. Goodness gracious, no cowboy reference. And my man on the other side of the ledger, up from up north, Joey James, a.k.a. Double J. Tell the people what you say, man.
Always willing to double down with Mr. Technical Difficulties.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, you Helen, usually double down with Brother Rich over there. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all from San Diego originally, but it don't matter. And then last but not least, we got my man from the CO Lumbus, D. Gully. What the deal be?
Everything's great, brother. Glad to be back on the program with you guys, and I'm so sorry that you missed your Cowboys reference. Since Brother Rich didn't deliver this time, I just wanted to let you know that everything's all good with Dak and the boys, and I know you'll be back with your star-plated shirts and everything for Friday and for the weekend and all that. So just ready to get started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got you. Too bad y'all not North Dakota State fans. That's a fact, Brother Rich. That's a fact. Anyway. The number to call if you're up and around, you're out and about, you want to give us a shout. The area code is 267-687-0026. That number again, area code 267-687-0026. Okay. Up first, the 69th NBA All-Star Game, February 16th, 2020. Double J, would you please do us the honors of telling us who the starters are? Now, let me make sure I got this straight, because I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't watched the NBA All-Star Game since, right. I mean, I might raise an eyebrow or two or three, but I don't watch it like I used to. So would you please tell us who the starters are? Are they still doing the format East and West, or with now LeBron and Giannis being the captains, Team Bron, Team Giannis, are they just picking, regardless of what conference you're from, you just picking the player that you want on your team? Is that how they're doing, or is it still East and West? Help me out here.
Well, the starters are still. I'm sorry. The format is still based off of East and West.
Okay, good deal. Okay, so then, if you would, give me the West starters.
The West starters are James Harden, Luka Doncic, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis.
Okay. Whoever that is, breathing, inhaling deeply. Okay, this is not Friday the 13th. All right, appreciate it. Double J, who, I'm asking you, and then I'm going to ask Brother Rich, and I'm going to ask Gully, who would you take off out of the starters and replace the starter with? Who would you take?
So first and foremost, I would take out James Harden.
Okay, and you would take out James Harden. All right, and who would you replace him with?
Devin Booker.
Okay. Brother Rich, who would you take out of the West starters, and who would you replace him with?
I have to agree with the gentleman from Michigan. Absolutely remove the league's most overrated player, James Harden, and replace it with one of his up-and-coming brightest stars, Devin Booker.
Okay, and Gully, who would you take off the West starters, or whatever the case may be here, and who would you replace him with?
Mr. Harden's got to go, but looks like we said Devin Booker. I don't have any reason to say anybody else. Those numbers and those stats. Well, yeah, Devin Booker.
All right, so it's unanimous, Devin Booker. I would take Harden off, too, and put Devin
Yeah.
Booker. We got a caller here. Appreciate you for calling. This is Mike Miller. You wanted to talk about the Antonio Brown drama. Is that what you wanted to talk about? Thanks for calling the Shop Report, and we appreciate having you. Is that what you wanted to talk about, the Antonio Brown drama?
No problem, man. There's a lot of drama going on with that, man. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
I don't really know, man. I don't know. Maybe he need to take a year off and get his mind right.
Yeah,
I
well.
don't see him coming back to. I don't see him playing next season. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm excited about this All-Star game in a couple weeks, though.
Yeah, and that's what we hadn't had the Antonio Brown stuff slated for today. We were talking the NBA All-Star game, but we were going to talk about that. But you kind of really pointed it out there for us. You know what's going on with Antonio Brown. What's already understood need not even be explained. You get what I'm saying? Hopefully he get himself together, man.
Right.
If he do, he do. If he don't, he don't. You know. I can't speak for him. I wish I was an NFL wide receiver. And then again, maybe I don't. But I mean, because I know a couple of guys that play. I guess that CTE thing is real. That's what I'm looking at it as. But on the outside looking in, that's the only way I can really put it, and everything else is really speculation. But let me ask you, out of the NBA All-Star starters, excuse me, I cannot talk today. Out of the West starters, who would you take from the starting lineup and replace them with?
Let me see. So they got Bron, Kawhi,
AD.
Oh, they got AD starting?
Yeah. Is AD a starter, Double J?
That's correct, yeah. And just to round out that list again, it would be followed by Luka and James Harden.
So Bron, Kawhi, AD, Luka, and James Harden. Mike, who would you take off that? Who would you take out of the starting lineup and replace them with?
I'm going to have to take Harden off, man. I'm going to have to take him off. Nothing against him, but hasn't he been sitting out the past few games?
He probably has. I work at night, so I couldn't even tell you. I don't even get to watch. And I got West Coast game TV hookup, but I don't even watch I don't watch the Rockets. I just don't. So I couldn't even tell you. I don't even follow when I see the headline stuff on the headlines on the ticket.
You're not missing anything, and that's a lot coming from a guy like you from Texas. But you're not missing anything.
Oh my gosh! What the Texas reference? Brother Rich, for your birthday, I'm gonna get you some Spurs because they make them big down there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to tell you. But yeah, so you say, Mike, you say take Harden off too. That's interesting because we all unanimously said James Harden for a whole lot of reasons. I get it. He's an offensive machine and all that old type of stuff, but at the end of the day, man, the other guys are more deserving. And to be honest with you, you see more effort from them guys. I know my thing about Bron and so on and so forth, but you see more effort out of everybody else on both ends of the floor. Harden, he still got that. I'm just gonna let you go by.
It's the same. It's the same story with Harden. He gonna shoot. He gonna drive. He gonna draw his fouls, and he's not gonna play no D.
Exactly.
That's pretty much it. Honestly, I would take Harden off, and I would rather see Bron, Ben Simmons, and Kawhi and Luka hoop together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus, because you know what Harden gonna do? He gonna drift to the to the three.
He gonna drift to the three
when they come down court. I would even put Westbrook in over Harden, to be honest, because Westbrook, you at least gonna get a highlight play. He gonna dunk on somebody.
Yeah.
Try to.
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
You know what I'm saying? But Harden, he just gonna try and sauce you up a little bit, shoot the J.
Yeah.
Cry about the fouls. You don't get it, but
yeah.
Outside of that, that would probably be the only person I'll take off because everybody else, like Trae Young, he deserve it.
What about Devin Booker?
He just come off championship. You said what about who?
What about Devin Booker? You wouldn't put Devin Booker in place of Harden?
I would say he needs to be an all-star for the simple fact he still do his thing over in Phoenix, but a starter?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Probably not a starter. All right.
Probably not.
Well, we're going to see February 16th because the NBA All-Star Game, the 69th NBA All-Star Game, is coming up February 16th. Mike, in an effort to make room for other people, man, I gotta let you go, man. We appreciate you calling the show, though, man. Call us back, man. We're here every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Well, we had some technical difficulties today that were unexpected. But, as they say, in show business, the show must go on. We appreciate your call, man.
Right.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate y'all.
All right. Yeah, man. So, fellas, at the end of the day, okay, we say we take Harden off the starters list, right? Now, Double J, if you would, give us the West reserves. Y'all not lively today right now. Is it because we didn't start at 8 or what's going on? Double J, what we got to do?
No. We're waiting to hear what you got to say.
Oh, are you? For once. Oh, are you? And Gully, you got a wisecrack you want to throw in there too?
Well, I'm just saying.
Oh, never mind. Got you. Anyway, got you. Got you. Your mic is muted, and so is Brother Richards. Double J, would you give us the West reserves, please? Yeah.
Absolutely. It's Rudy Gobert, Brandon Ingram, Nikola Jokic, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, and Russell Westbrook.
Okay, Brother Rich, who would you take off out of the reserves?
Chris Paul.
Double J?
Rudy Gobert.
Oh, wow. And Gully?
I don't have nobody I would take out. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I think that's pretty. I don't. I don't have anybody I take out.
Oh, okay. Got you.
On the West.
All right, that's fair.
Do you really want Rudy Gobert over, say, Karl Anthony Towns or even Devin Booker?
Rudy Gobert, yeah, I would take him this year as an all-star.
Double J, you got to understand, Gully eats banana pudding with a straw. Okay? I'm just saying, this is what we're dealing with here today. You know what I mean?
Nah, I know that's rather shocking. I mean, compared to what we were saying.
It's not rather shocking.
I guess a minute ago about the idea of snubbing. The idea that Devin Booker got snubbed, and I'd rather see Devin Booker in place of James Harden. But as far as everyone else, I'm thinking, in the case of Gobert, he was named an all-star, not a starter. and I guess his place on the All-Star team isn't in question. James Harden's is.
But no.
That's why perhaps maybe we would put Devin Booker in that place. And I wouldn't want to snub anybody else outside of James Harden if I wanted to get Devin Booker into the All-Star game for the West.
Right, but in an era of positionless.
Additionally, I want to point out that, exactly, to our host point, in an era of positionless basketball.
Then you take Rudy Gobert off and you put in Ja Morant. Or you can take Chris Paul off and put in Ja Morant. Don't make me never mind. Brother Rich, was that what you would do? You would take Chris Paul out of the reserves? Would you put Ja Morant in there?
Without a doubt, either way that works out, Chris Paul is out and Ja Morant is absolutely in.
Okay. And Gully, this is not to discredit what you're saying. I mean, everybody, we got our own who we like or who we don't like or opinions or whatnot. You say you wouldn't take Rudy Gobert out. It's not like Rudy is undeserving. We're not saying that. We're just saying this year, is there anybody else that you could have seen him? Because you're right. You made the point about him being an all-star versus being a starter, which is good. I'm glad you pointed that out, being specific, of course. But is there anybody else that you think would be deserving of an all-star selection over Gobert? And we mentioned Ja Morant. Could you see that?
Yeah, you know what? That's the thing about this panel. You guys can enlighten me. And I guess in the sum total of it all, and looking at that roster again, if there was one move to make, I disagree with Brother Rich. Chris Paul wouldn't go anywhere. I would if I had to move someone. Probably more so than Brandon Ingram, it would be Rudy Gobert in that regard. Like if we had to make that move, that would be the move to make. Ja Morant in that place, or Ja Morant has a reserve in place of Rudy Gobert based on the performance this year.
And you know what? And something else came to mind right quick. Let me ask you all something right quick. Do you think the NBA, when they do these selections or these All-Star, because they just changed, we're getting ready to talk about the All-Star format too, that made changes too. I think they whack. Not only are they whack, the changes, but they're even more whack for the fact that they're saying they're doing it to honor Kobe Bryant. But anyway, because Kobe was may he rest in peace, Kobe was even he would have said the changes was whack. Man, play ball, man. We're talking about the same guy who was playing defense on the USA Olympic team when they was up by 100. You know what I'm trying to tell you? This is whack. But anyway, do you think that the NBA should do more when it comes to this All-Star thing and the crop, adding the more, the younger talent? Because, again, this might be the only time, and, I've been making a case for Ja Morant, for the better part of this season so far, at least the first half. I don't get to see him. I think I've seen him once already. But prior to that, when he was in the draft, I seen him every other day. So if you're not going to show him to me throughout the regular season, at least the first part of the season, could you not make a case for the younger guys that we don't get to see in them markets, this being the time? Because the world's going to be watching, right? Next to the Super Bowl, everybody watches the NBA All-Star game. You see what I'm saying? So in other words,
that's a brilliant suggestion. And that's why people have suggested that the All-Star game be for those types of players, because the reality is that the players at LeBron's level don't want to play in All-Star games anymore. It's just an exhibition for them. The fans don't really get anything. It's like going to watch a Harlem Globetrotter game. But if you involve players who were at other levels, if you involve people who were the Ja Morant, the first and second year players, and you gave an opportunity for players who were playing perhaps in the other league, the NBA's developmental league, and they got a chance to perhaps come up and compete against the NBA.
Oh, that would be sweet.
A real showcase going on. Then you have a real All-Star game, and that's the kind of thing. But right now, the All-Star game is not an All-Star game. It's a selection contest and our brand name contest. And who's with Nike and who's with Adidas, and we got to make sure we got our representation. Whose agent is? The NBA is all political now, and that's why the players are doing things like sticking their middle finger up and saying what they're saying, because it's not on simple talent. This is what I'm saying. If we're talking about basketball, and you're talking about the All-Star, you're looking at where the league is going. The people want to see what the league will look like in the future coming, not what Chris Paul what does Chris Paul do that sets him apart? You can't look at Chris Paul as a basketball player and see what Ja Morant is doing this year and say, those guys are playing. Somebody's star is clearly rising and somebody's just falling. You opened up the earlier program talking about the wonderful job that Lonzo Ball is doing in New Orleans, but nobody's paying that attention other than real basketball people. But so to me, Lonzo Ball is doing just as good a job with his team as Chris Paul is doing with his team.
Yeah, I got you. And some people will say, "Well, they records ain't the same." That's not the point. The point is, you can see down in New Orleans, as opposed to in years past, even though New Orleans had a star or two or three, and they had a couple this and that, you can see the makings of a team with more time together. These guys could actually potentially be a force in the West. Finally,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So they could finally be a force, as opposed to they might be good this year, they might not be bad that year. And I ain't talking about the years of Anthony Davis, because you really take Anthony Davis off the squad. He was the one guy you would tune in to watch the Pelicans. He was the one guy. They always had one guy, like with Chris Paul. They always had one guy or two maybe that you would tune in to see. Now you tune in to see the Pelicans. You understand what I'm saying? And you tune in because they got Zion, Ingram, and they got, listen, and like I said, right quick, side note, what Lonzo Ball has been able to do with his shot, and I look at my watch when I say this, in less than 10 minutes is nothing short of remarkable. And when I said it before, when I thought we were recording earlier at 8 o'clock, to see the negative comments surrounding this guy from a stats-only comparison, it's laughable to me. Meanwhile, I responded and I saw it on Facebook, and I responded to the guy on Facebook like, okay, hold up, wait a minute. I bet you, and I don't know these guys' favorite players, but I bet you your favorite player, when he go to work on his game, he working on his three-point shot, not his free throws. Here it is, this guy, and we all know at UCLA and up to now, Lonzo's shot, if nothing else, was about the ugliest shot that I had ever seen. And that's because I know it's been more, but I've said I've ever seen. And I can't recall a few others. But
uglier than Kevin Duckworth's?
What did I just say? Abercrombie?
I know, but I'm just saying. I know, I'm just saying. I mean, Kevin Duckworth.
But Kevin Duckworth, number one, was not a point guard. I'm talking about a guy who he got to have. Kevin Duckworth didn't really need a jump shot. Okay, he was 7'1", big country. Bryant Reeves and Greg Ostertag combined all into one. You know what I'm trying to tell you? He was a lumberer. But I'm with you. His shot was ugly. But I'm saying Lonzo's shot, that's especially now in this day and age, it's what everybody notices. You ain't notice whether Kevin Duckworth had a shot or not unless you was really in the hoop. You get what I mean? For this guy to change his shot, man, tells me that when he go work on his game, he working on that's a fundamental aspect. Name me a player in recent memory or otherwise that the best of your recollection that had a fundamental flaw, and he fixed it within a season, within less than a season, and a half of a season, and he fixed it.
It destroyed Markelle Fultz's confidence of the player for an entire year.
Thank you.
Absolutely correct.
Thank you. You see what I'm trying to tell you? That's a cat who really worked on his game. But you got all these players with all of these who everybody buying their shoes, and they can't even hit a free throw like hitting a bull in the backside with a shovel. They can't do it. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? And if you watch the Pelicans, I'm not looking at their record right now. We all know Zion wasn't there, like Brother Richard been pointing out in Double J. Zion wasn't there, but you can see the makings of a team down there, man. You know what I'm saying? This dude, they work well together. And they only gonna get better. That's a young crop that's going to get better, man. And see, they a three-headed monster lightweight organically, if you ask me. The Lakers didn't want Lonzo or Ingram. You see what I'm saying? And Zion had to be drafted. There wasn't no collusion. That's all I'm saying. I'm pulling for them. I'm pulling for them dudes down there, man. I love the underdogs. And in each one of them cases, they lightweight was underdog. And I had my say about Zion and his weight and so on and so forth. But the few games I've watched him play, man, you can't be a purist and deny what that guy could be. You can't deny that. You know what I'm saying? With all due respect.
Double J, are you listening to this?
Oh, my gosh. Really?
Are you hearing what I'm hearing, Double J? Double J, there must be a bad connection from Texas tonight. The stars are shining in Dallas right now. How about them Cowboys? Something's going on. What's going on?
Anyway, let's get to the format. I can't even give credit, you know what I'm saying, without you running with it. You know what I'm trying to tell you? Could you slow down there, Kimo Slobby? Anywho, let's talk about the All-Star, this new All-Star format. And I won't go into it because my goodness, I went to NBA.com to look this up so we could do the show today. And my goodness, it's got to be about 42,000 pages long. Maybe not, but that's just feel like it when I was reading it. All right, so I'm not going to go through all of this. I'm not, because it just don't make sense to me. It seems like a whole lot of manufactured stuff, the whole lot. You know how they say a guy be saying something, he said a whole lot, but he ain't said nothing. It's a whole lot of reading, and then at the end, I'm like, okay, and what have we learned from this? Absolutely nothing. The two most significant changes, I'm assuming or presuming here, are every quarter counts for charity. Now, I'm cool with that. The All-Star teams will compete to win each quarter for Chicago-based community organizations. I'm sure everybody here is on board with that, right? Ain't nobody got a problem with that, right? Okay, good. Number 2, new game ending. The fourth quarter will be untimed, and the teams will play to a final target score, meaning that the game will end with a made basket or made free throw instead of with the clock running out. In addition to that, Brother Rich and Richard Stefanski and Double J will go to Ohio State and the Cleveland Browns front offices in Berea and set aside barbecue pits. I'm just, because that's what this. After I got to number 2, I was like, oh, do I really need to even read anymore? So, and they broke down how the new format will work. You know, each team get to kick off from the 25-yard line. Everybody gets to touch the ball at the end. It will be 6 untimed downs. It will be 2 field goals, you know what I'm saying, from the punter, rugby style, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and whoever scores last, you know what I'm saying, they get to kick it with J-Lo and Shakira, I guess. I don't know. Double J, I mean, what do you say about the format? You good with it or no? Because I don't think it honors Kobe Bryant, to tell you the truth. Not the Kobe I knew. And I don't know him, but from all the stuff I done read and stuff I done watched, and, you know, I get it. They get an A for effort, I guess, but outside of that, no. What say you, Double J?
You know, sometimes less is more, and if they really wanted to honor Kobe, in my opinion,
play defense.
To me, all they should have said, was play. Play like the fourth quarter.
Thank you.
From start to finish.
Thank you. It's that simple. Gully, but before you say anything, Gully, I will mention this. They said it's the final target score thing. How will it work? Pay attention to this now. You got to be a mathematician to really understand this all. If the cumulative score of the first 3 quarters is 100 to 95, the final target score will be set at 124 points. Okay. In this example, here's how the teams would win the NBA All-Star game. The team with 100 points would need to score 24 points in the fourth quarter before the team with 95 points scores 29 points. Y'all with me still? Got you. The team with 95 points would need to score 29 points in the fourth quarter before the team with 100 points scores 24 points before Patrick Mahomes was down 10 points and he threw touchdowns even though it was 2 interceptions, and then Richard Sherman fell flat on his face. Y'all with me still? And then at the end of it all, we get the final target score. Gully, have your say. Just saying. You still there, Gully? Hello? I don't know what. Yeah,
This guarantees that no one will be watching the All-Star game this year.
So I get it. So your silence was purposeful. Okay, got you. It was like, yeah, got you. Go ahead, finish.
Yeah, dude, I heard you explain it, and admittedly, I had to go and read it for myself because I know that I understand English at a pretty good level, you know, verbally, but nothing that you said made any sense. And it wasn't that you didn't know what you were saying. It's just, this is the most, asinine. I want to say other words more profane, but I won't because this is a family show.
Got you.
But yeah, nobody will watch the All-Star game this year.
Yeah. And Brother Rich, before you say anything, I found, because as we sitting here talking, I'm scrolling through the article. I got it on the computer here. it is one other thing I did want to point out. The NBA, it says, how was 24 points chosen to help determine the final target score? The NBA incorporated 24 points into the calculation of the final target score, of course, to honor the late Kobe Bryant, who wore number 24 for the final 10 seasons of his career. Seemed like I just read that already. But anyway, let's say Kobe had wore number 8. Now what, Brother Rich?
Well, again, these are all the silly corporate machinations that they take death and tragedy and manipulate it and make it a marketing. Some marketing genius comes up with some silly ideology that let's do this and let's do that. And as Gully said, there's some language we could use, but there are children listening that we wouldn't dare, get away with on this kind of platform. But I mean, this is really foolishness at the end of the day. And again, it is assured, like Gully said, okay, we're not even sure who made the All-Star game based on having given up on much of how the selection process. We don't even know how it works anymore. And now you're trying to change the format because you fell off so badly. The fans haven't even been tuning in. So you need to find a way to get us to tune in. So you choose one of the iconic figures and try to wrap a game around his memory. How is that intended to work?
That's what I want.
I'm not a fan.
I'm not either. And I'm telling you right.
Brother Rich.
Go ahead, Doug. Go ahead.
Listen, people had the perfect, if you wanted to honor Kobe, they had the perfect solution. It was right there in front of his face. Right there in front of our faces. For the first half of his storied career, he wore number 8. Accomplished quite a bit. For the second half of his career, he wore number 24. Accomplished quite a bit. Team 8 versus Team 24. Team Purple versus Team Gold.
Exactly.
It was right there in front of your face.
Exactly.
And you decided to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory, decided to make a mountain out of a molehill, and then the game is played at 9 o'clock. Who wants to do nuclear physics at 9 o'clock
at night? Thank you. They did too much, man. I'm not watching it. I'm not gonna watch it because to me, like I said, in preparation for this show, I sat there and I said, okay, let me look at this new format. I read it. I was at NBA.com. When I got done reading it, man, my beard was all white. All white.
I'm gonna tell you. They'll be playing this game
next week.
It looks like the type of difficulty that they're having with the Iowa caucus.
Yeah.
Like, did they finally get those results in?
Yeah, they're not coming in.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, they're not coming in until 2025. Yeah, but at the end of the day, this don't honor the Mamba, not to me. Like Gully said, and it could have been so much simple. It was right there in front of you. Team 8, Team 24, purple and gold. Put the ball up. Let's hoop. Ball in. 216. 267-687-0026 is the number to call. That number again is area code 267-687-0026. All right, up next in our No Sports Intended segment or portion of the program, the educational industrial complex. Is it broken? I found this article from a publication called The Daily Torch. Not too bad of a publication, actually. You know, they come up with a few things that are relative or relate to everyday life for the common man, all right? Things that we discuss when we're in the barbershop. It's not just always sports, right? And I find this article, and I get to reading this article, and I'm saying to myself, wow, this is something interesting I'd like to discuss on the show with my co-hosts and our listeners, right? So let me ask a few questions here. Is the pursuit, because there's been a lot of talk here lately about student loans. And, if they're going anywhere, that's been one of the things that the Democrats have been pushing, Bernie Sanders, and I'm not going to go through the whole list of names. Oh, yeah, we could get rid of it, because it's up there now, something $1 trillion in debt and so on and so forth. And I'm like, wow, man, let me throw this out of my folk and see what they got to say about this. So is the pursuit, Brother Rich, and we'll come to you first here. Is the pursuit of a college degree pointless nowadays?
Well, I think we only need to look around the world and understand that the people who have invented most of the modern technologies that we are using every day, never even graduated college. And that's not to diminish college in any way. But what has happened is that college, rather than become a source to educate the populace, rather than become a source to direct the minds of the young and the willing to become and be all they can be in the society and contribute back to the society, it became a business where you were now selling college degrees. And we, in fact, have had cases where people are now being tried, and some people have gone to prison because people have sold college degrees. People have means. So if I'm competing and I got money, then we're big on a college degree. I want my daughter in this college. You want your son in this class. And we're willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. At the moment we have broken the dam on that kind of corruption, of course it's useless now. It's useless because there's no character behind that. There's no integrity behind that. You can't take that and use that in the common world. And that's why American education, when you look around the world, they built a hospital in China recently. It took them 10 days. In America, it would take 10 years because we're not looking at an education complex that's really firing the minds of young people and allowing them to do things anymore. And those who get through, get there and drop out and go and form Facebook and Google and this and that because they're not even being challenged in college. Let's be honest, man. Absolutely, we got a problem. And then you tell us that you can't even wipe away the debt for a degree that I got that I can't even use. So the American people, you can wipe out everything in bankruptcy, but you can't wipe out a student loan. Because the corruption for corporations who back the government and fund the government and make it a mandatory payment that you will pay for your life, literally, for that piece of useless and worthless paper.
Oh, wow. Well said, bro. Rich, that sounds like you was coming down there from Texas. Double J, is the pursuit of a college degree pointless nowadays? In your estimation?
Well, absolutely, because it's become a commodity.
Good point.
There was a point in time that, maybe you flash back maybe 40, 50 years ago where having that would have been the ultimate pursuit of happiness, a true leg up in the world by furthering your education. And now what we have is this substantial imbalance where we have too many quote-unquote qualified individuals. People with master's degrees are working for barely above minimum wage. And having a master's degree now means you're overqualified and therefore no longer considered for certain roles and opportunities.
Interesting.
And keep this in mind. You can sign your life away in your future, to Brother Rich's point, by getting yourself in $100,000 plus in debt at the age of 18, but you can't buy cigarettes.
Oh, wow, that's a good point. Oh, wow. Yeah, buddy. Ooh, Double J, that was pretty good, man. That was pretty good. Way to bring it on TSR, baby. Yeah, I'm with you all day, every day. I mean, I myself, I have one. I got a college degree, right? And I got to tell my sons, and to Brother Rich's point earlier, it's not that we're saying that having one is a bad thing. We're saying the engine behind it all is foul. Because when you go, as I tell my son who's getting ready to embark on his college career, I said, look, man, we're not going there to waste time. There are some, like going to the library, there are some useful things in it, you know what I mean? But you go to college like you would the grocery store. You make a list. You go in there and get what you want to get out of. When you go to the grocery store, you don't go in there and buy everything.
Right.
You're going to get what you need, and you're getting up out of there. Go get what you need to get up out of there, and then come on up out of there. And you'd be surprised you can come on up out of there in less than 4 years. It's a money grab, man, at the end of the day. That's all I'm saying. It's like a money grab, man. Like Brother Richard said, it is designed to keep you in debt. We in debt from, You know what? And I noticed we're not doing economics 101 here. We got a caller. Before I announce your name, just give me 1 second. Let me finish this thought. We live in a society where when you don't have any credit, they look at it as bad credit. That's bass awkward. Oh, you don't show nothing for having paying nothing. Well, that's the whole point. I don't want, how can I have bad credit and I ain't got no credit? And y'all already want, so y'all, it's just, when you talk about by design, boy, don't even get me started. Gully, the same question to you, man. Is the pursuit of a college degree pointless nowadays? But my bad, before you answer, the caller, could you please tell us your name and where you're calling from? You giving me background. I got a lot of background. This Doc. What's up, Doc?
Yeah, what's going on, player? How we doing?
We doing good. We doing to the GODD. What's happening?
Nothing much, man. Just got off work, dog. I wasn't finna miss the show.
That's all to the good. Yeah. We started at 8, man, but I had a technical difficulty, so I don't know if it's people still listening to us or whatnot, and have not. But hey, as they say in the show business, this show must go on. But yeah, man, I want Gully to answer that. We on our on the No Sports Intended portion of the program, man. We talking about is the educational industrial complex, is it broken? So Gully, is the pursuit of a college degree pointless nowadays in your estimation?
Outside of the specific sciences, your maths,
got you.
Your biologies and all.
Hold that thought.
To get a higher.
Hold that thought. I'm glad you said that, because those are the things you use and you will need in going forward in the world, if you want to be an architect or an engineer or things of that nature. So I'm glad you pointed that out specifically, because that's what college can be good for. Well, go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah, so those things are universal. It goes back to. It goes back to the one scene in Boys in the Hood in 1991, where Lawrence Fishburne's character Fury Styles took Trey and Ricky to that billboard outside the ghetto.
Yeah,
and they was talking about the testing, standardized testing. It was before that. It was when they was at his office, and he basically says that the maths and the sciences are universal. They'll apply anywhere. Okay. The educational industrial complex is the same thing. It's not broken. It's working as they intended. It's working more so as they intended because of the influx of money it takes to get to school. It's going to keep you in an indebted servitude where you do have a master's degree, make it $36,000 a year, where you make less in your year than you paid for each year that you studied. You follow what I'm saying?
Snap.
So in a year, at $20,000 a year, that's $40,000. At $25 an hour, that's $40,000 a year. Your freshman year of schooling cost you $56,000. You're already 4 years behind yourself by the time you graduate, and that's just the undergrad. Now you get a degree. You get a degree in a niche studies like human studies, urban affairs, things that don't have, unfortunately, a quantifiable financial career path. You really have to make something of yourself in order for your degree to make something for you. And by that case, you're already an entrepreneur anyway, so you've already wasted $120,000 because what you did with your degree, trying to make something out of it, similar to having nothing, when mom used to not have money for a meal, she used to make a meal out of something. You follow what I'm saying? You use more of your ingenuity to try to make something, to make your degree useful, then you didn't even need a degree. So the industrial complex is not broken because it's working as they design. You want to go to a trade. You want to work with your hands. And as college becomes more and more expensive and it's pricing itself out, people are going to go back to trade schools, back to learning a craft, back to your CNCs, back to something that you can do specifically, and then you'd earn a lot more money. And that piece of paper could just hang on the wall, or you can turn it into something to fuel your heat when your heat cut off because you got to pay your student loan and you can't pay your heat bill.
Yeah,
but I digress.
Oh, and don't forget about that interest.
That was a good Gully. Hey, that was. See, this is why I love doing these kind of topics. This is why this is necessary. Again, sports is our primary topic of discussion. But we try to keep everything at the shop report akin to just how it is in the shop. This at least the shop I go to, and this is how we do. We don't just talk sports. We talk about those things because as it is in every shop, you know, a lot of the young people coming up, man, they, you know, at least the ones that come in today's cutting style, they be tuning in. They be listening. So we're going to send them young folk out in the world with something else on their mind other than Xbox and PlayStation. That's all we saying here. That's why we do what we do. Doc, same thing to you, man. Is the pursuit of a college degree pointless nowadays? And you started off saying something about don't forget the interest, because that's where they get you at. Do your thing.
I agree. I agree with Gully. Unless you're going through something like engineering or something, you know where they need people at, like computer engineering, electrical engineering, architecture. Unless you're going into a field like that, it's a big bust. Because say your student loans is $30,000 a year, you're gonna pay that plus your interest by the time you get done. So now that $30,000 a year turns into $60,000 just for that 1 year. It's like by the time you graduate, you up to your neck in debt. Can't do nothing. Sally Mae knocking at your door like, hey, when you going to pay us back? You graduated this long ago. Now you feel like, okay, well, if I go back to school and further my education, I get a master's, stay in business. Now I can hold off how long I'm going to have to pay these loans. But you forgetting, now that I got interest on the last loans, they're going to put interest on these loans. So now I got a master's degree, and I'm I'm darn near $200,000 in debt because I'm trying to hold off Sally Mae. And it's like, okay, well, we knocking at your door again. And some people think, well, if I keep going to school, they won't ask for this money back. But eventually you're going to have to stop. And it's like Billy said, if you're not going for anything that's paying, like that's worthwhile, engineers and things like that, then it's pointless. You might as well go and be a regular entrepreneur, go to a skilled trade. And they try to make it seem like skilled trades ain't all that. But we need electricians more now than we ever did. Because nobody's
carpenters,
going to skilled trades. Nobody's getting a trade anymore.
Yep. That's real spit. And the last portion of this, well, not the last portion. There's two more I put together here I wanted to ask you all. And Double J, we'll come back to you. We'll start with you actually on this one. Can the federal government, or should I say will they, fix these problems by making student loans once again private, sell off its portfolio of student debt, allow students to discharge debt in bankruptcy, and then the lending rules, or tie the lending rules, to the value of a degree and require colleges to repay half of the remaining value of a discharge or of discharge loans. Did that make sense, or should I read that again?
No, I mean, I think those of us that are familiar with it understood what you meant.
Okay.
The question isn't can they? The answer is always yes. They always have the power to do so. The question becomes, will they?
Right.
If you look at the number, the amount of people in debt and the amount of debt that has been accrued, to me, it has always been a form of modern slavery, because no matter what you do, it is very unlikely you will spend the majority of your adult life working for someone else. And financial freedom, to me, is the only way of truly being free.
Yep.
In 2020, moving forward. So the minute that you truly do not owe anyone anything is truly when you have
freedom.
You can move on your own accord.
Yeah.
And so to the youth that are listening, be very distinct, because here's the thing: why at 18 are we expecting young people to have it all figured out? How frequently do we say, "If I knew then what I know now"?
Yeah, exactly.
Or, don't expect to have it figured out at 18, but yet we're telling them to make this decision that they will have to live with when they're 25, 35, and beyond. It blows my mind, and again, it's institutionalized in intent with strategic intent.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm with
you.
So
of course, but to answer your question, absolutely, can they get rid of it? Yes. The answer is no. There's a reason why
they won't.
You've seen all these hackings from NASA from guys like Snowden and all the above, but you've never heard of somebody hacking Sally Mae and wiping away all the data.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, good stuff. Gully, what say you, man? At the end of the day, will the government allow students to discharge their debt through bankruptcy? Because that's really at the crux of all of this. You know what I'm saying? And then the lending rules, they of course, I guess in conjunction with that, they would have to change. You know what I mean? And should colleges be forced to pay off the rest of the remaining debt? You know what I'm saying? For them folks, I done seen stories, man, people $200,000, $300,000 in students. I mean, I got one, and I looked at theirs and was like, oh, well, mine ain't that bad. My goodness. You know what I mean? Because how do you have a life outside of that or with that albatross? When you're going into it, you really don't understand what it is you're getting yourself into. Even your parents don't really understand. That's why I guess it's designed that way. But, yeah, I mean, what will they, should they, the government, that is?
I don't know that they would, because allowing you to discharge that debt in a bankruptcy, that's going to have a significant effect negatively on the economy, because the reason why is because current rules exist that the debt being immovable in that capacity. There are some safety nets in place for the government, if you will, by having this debt being immovable. Imagine if they had to account for it. Where they gonna go to get it from? You see what I mean? It's like it's not a system that I at all agree with, but I don't think that they'd move it because it's immovable. You make it movable now, yeah, you'd provide that relief, but the government would be like, well, we're never going to get this money back, because if it can be written off by the consumer, then the corporations and the businesses and the educational systems and whatnot going to ask for it to be written off of them too, if it ain't already done this way. If it's not already done that way, so I just feel like it's immovable in a sense that once they do, it'll collapse because the money will never return.
I'm with you.
I do want to
definitely yes.
Oh, go ahead, Gully. Finish.
Yeah, go ahead, Gully. Finish. And then
go ahead, please.
Okay, go ahead, Double J.
Please, because you got something you want to say. I may have a comment to that.
All I wanted to show is that paying for college and having college free is something that's already being done. If you look at Germany, college is free.
Right.
If you look at if you're a Detroit, if you graduated from a Detroit high school, if you go to one of the community colleges locally in Southeast Michigan, your college is free. So it's not, to answer your question, I told you they can do it. It's being done. And it's being shown on and a level of a micro level, like I said with Detroit, or on a macro level with a country like Germany.
And I'm referring to it being done, or its ability to get done, versus the idea of forecasting, right? You consider a loss if you can find your potential to earn money in the future is less than your potential to earn money in the future if you moved a certain way. So the idea that you can show a forecast like I'll earn less money in the future, you can actually in the present tense say I'm losing money. That's what I mean by that, because you're right, it can certainly be done. And a lot of, like, for example, here in Columbus, tuition is free if you work for the university, or it's at a significant discount if you work for the Ohio State University. So it's definitely subsidized somewhere. It's just the idea of the trillions of dollars that are outstanding. Forgiving that, I don't know if any government is really brave or brazen enough to want to take that debt, even though it probably would make a lot of things better for a lot of people.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm glad you all said that, because, in Cleveland, if you live, well, I don't know how they do the districting or whatever, but if you live within the city of Cleveland, you can go to Tri-C free, whether it's 2 years or 4 years, completely free. Everything is paid for. So, yes, it's being done. But, you can, yes, if you live, yes. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll take that back. If your child attends a school in the city of Cleveland, the parents of the children and the children, if they get to that point, can go to Tri-C free. Yeah.
Can I point this out really quick, though?
Yes.
To Gully's point, when we bailed out the financial institutions, that was $700 billion.
Right.
Yeah.
That's only $300 billion. When you look at it from apples to apples, that is $300 billion in difference between the financial institutions and the student loan amount.
Yeah.
But I do not want to hear it can't be done. They do not want to do it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That's a good point. Well, again, they'll find money for wars, but not for the poor. Because we got another one coming up next week about the Cleveland City Council and the crap they done did. Y'all not going to like this at all. Brother Rich, I think I sent you the caption and I sent it to Double J. I don't know if I sent it to you, Gully. But yeah,
you did.
Yeah, the Cleveland City Council, man, they just straight up foul, man. And they got, and the problem, the thing that bothers me right quick, they got people here in Cleveland who's so blind to it. They so in love with Cleveland, and so they think, oh, they doing great for our city. But meanwhile, your door falling off the hinges. They really ain't doing jack for you. You get what I'm saying? You got to go. What they doing is building up the Jack Casino. Man, don't let me. I'm not even about to. Don't let me get started on Cleveland City Council. But anyway, yeah, Brother Rich, the same thing to you, man. This where they write the debt off. Allow students to discharge it in bankruptcy, change the lending rules, and require colleges to repay, half of the remaining value of a discharge loan.
Well, I'm going to quote what the young prophet is gone now. The great Tupac said they got money for wars, but they can't feed the poor.
Yeah, that's what I just said too.
You
Yeah.
gotta remember, the military industrial complex is $1 trillion budget. Double J talked about the kind of money that was used to bail out banks. This has happened, not just once, but more than once. It's happened twice in the last 20 years that hundreds of millions of taxpayers' dollars have gone to bail out big banks. America gives socialism to Boeing every year. It's just been revealed that Amazon paid no taxes last year. You could tax Amazon and pay for this kind of thing. So whether or not the money is there is not the issue. The money is certainly there. The willingness is not there. Will they do it? If you elect Bernie Sanders, they may do it. But other than that, it doesn't look like the willingness is there to do that kind of thing to give relief. And the other question we got to ask ourselves, do we respect, and this is why we're pointing out these other nations and environments where education, because education is seen as a public right. It's not a business. It's a public right. Like the right of the populace to be healthy. It's a public right.
Yeah.
These are things to have clean water, clean air. That's a public right. You don't have a right to impede on the public's ability to have a healthy life. And so these are the kinds of things, when you make that a business, when you allow me to get, because I got oil on this land, I want oil, but I don't care about the fact that I'm going to use some fracking and it's going to poison the well all along here for thousands of
miles.
acres.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about that because we're going to get oil out. This is the kind of thing we're dealing with.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. And I'm glad you said that. Doc, we come to you on the last one. Yep. You want me to read it again?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, basically, I'm just asking, as far as the government is concerned, man, excuse me, will they, once again, because at one point, student loans were private, and they sell off the portfolio of student loan debt. To who, I don't know. Will they allow students to discharge the debt in bankruptcy? And then the lending rules, to the value of a degree, it should require colleges to repay half of the remaining value of a discharge loans. You know what I mean? So, if the government say, okay, we discharge it, but the colleges are responsible for half of whatever, or whatever. If it's 100,000, 200,000, so on and so forth.
I honestly doubt they will do it because of something I like to say. It's just greed is what I like to say, because once you get
That's
all
the
these
bottom
students
line
that
to it, huh?
believe, okay, if I go to school and I get this degree, okay, I'll have to pay back these loans. But if I don't, the government's going to say, okay, well, now we're going to put it on your credit. And if you don't pay it then we're going to start garnishing your wages. So whether you like it or not, you're going to eventually have to pay these loans back. And with them passing it off through bankruptcy, now that money that they were forcibly taking from you, they can no longer get because you filed bankruptcy. Now we're left with a bill that nobody wants to pay. And you already know the colleges are not going to want to pay, especially if you're one of those kids that go change your degree and say, oh, this isn't for me, or something happens in your family and you got to drop out. Now that's money wasted. I'm filing bankruptcy. I don't have to pay y'all back jack. Now the government's stuck with a big fat bill. Like, all right, who's going to pay them? You know what I mean? It's money missing. The government's not trying to miss out on their money. Like you said, they could tax Amazon. As a matter of fact, Amazon just made, I think it was like $3 billion in like 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah, it was
You really
insane.
think they're gonna tax them?
Yeah, it was insane.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, it was.
I highly doubt it. It's greed, man. It's all greed. Once the government sees kids graduating from high school, they don't see kids. They see dollar signs. That's what we are to the government. We're dollar signs. We're ways of getting income to help pay off this debt that we have to whoever we owe. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's all we are.
Yeah, and you know what?
Your phrasing of the question already answers why it won't be done. We compare it when Brother Rich stated, to the rest of the world, education is viewed as a right. The phrasing of your question, I believe you mentioned education, industrial complex. Anytime there is an industrial complex, industry does not exist as a public right. Industry exists as a revenue generator. So if there is an educational industrial complex, whatever systems allow that thing to be profitable are going to be hard to be broken. If there is the prison industrial complex, it is an industrial complex. It is a revenue generator. So those systems are in place to sustain the revenue. They're going to be hard to be broken. That being said, you're right. We know Amazon has the money. I know, Brother Rich, you and I may feel a certain way about certain people having certain things. However, I do agree with you here. Billionaires paying nothing for taxes makes no sense to me. Now, we can question why that is, but the point is the money is here. And because it's an industrial complex, it's going to be hard for those foundations to ever be cracked or broken. That's why we probably won't see here the things that we see for the rest of the world. And the rest of the world, with that education, with that power, come over here and do exactly what they think we should do. That's why our doctors have a lot of foreign names. No disrespect, because I respect the system. They get that education, and they get it at a discount. And they have, our doctors, our great sciences, our doctors, our business, and our industries in other areas, having education, a solid post-secondary education, which is a right to the rest of the world, revenue generator here, paints the picture of why we see people in advanced degrees in certain areas with consistency.
Yeah. What a tangled capitalist web we weave. The number to call if you're up and around and you're out and about and you want to give us a shout, it's area code 267-687-0026. Once again, that number is area code 267-687-0026. All right, our last topic for the evening, gentlemen, is none other, or should I say last but not least, than Super Bowl 54. Or should I say 50?
Yeah.
Settle down, Chemo Slobby, settle down. Or should I say Super Bowl 54, as in FIDDYFO, 54. We're going to let my man Doc start things off for us right now on this particular subject. Doc, did the team you want to win win? Yeah, I know.
It was going to be close, dog. I was off a little bit. I said, what did I say, 21-24? It ended up being 20-31. I was off by a touchdown.
Yeah, you sure was. You did. You lightweight be calling it, Doc.
It was going to be a close game.
You know what I'm saying? You and Double J.
I told you.
Do you go with Double J? Do Double J go to the track, Kentucky Derby, Churchill Downs? He got a Greyhound, don't he?
He usually just go with whatever I call.
Oh, okay, got you. Oh, okay, y'all a tandem. Because I didn't know. I don't know, Doc. You might be being replaced. Brother Rich and Double J, it's like 10 speed and brown shoe up in here, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? One is over here and one is over there. Ha-cha! Yeah, man. You know, cause
that's the match that 10-gallon hat.
Don't worry about my 10-gallon hat, baby. I eat cereal out of mine, baby. Serves multi-purpose. Watch out there now, Chemo Slobby. Yeah, Doc, you did though. You pretty much called it, man. You didn't call a few of them, but there's a few things I want to point out too, right quick. In the first half, right before the half, that push off that Kittle did, and he caught the ball. That would have been, had the 49ers scored on that possession, I don't know, man. Would we be sitting here right now talking about the Kansas City Chiefs having won the Super Bowl? Some guy even said it was going to be 52-17. That was, that's called jumping out of the
That was a reach.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly. Yeah, he said 52, and boldly. He was brazen. 52-7. Oh, man. I was like, well, wait a minute now. Hold on. Slow down there. I mean, San Fran did deserve to be there now. They all professionals. But my goodness, you know what I mean? And that, even though with all the weapons and so on and so forth, we've seen some offenses in some prior Super Bowls that was, a lot, I ain't going to say a lot greater, but we mentioned the Rams offenses before, and they couldn't muster but 14 points. So hold on now. Let's let it be a good game. But had Kittle's, he put his hand, was it on his shoulder, the defender's shoulder, and then
he put it right on his chest.
On his chest.
Right on his chest.
If you put your hand on the defender's chest and then pull your hand back to make the catch, I think it's a no call. But because you had his hand on your chest and you pushed, you extended it. You didn't have to extend it. You could have just pulled it off. Hold it there, let it go, then make the catch. Do that? Could y'all have seen that happen or no? Could you have seen that happen, Doc?
No, that's still interference, man. 'Cause
Okay.
you now with that hand being there, you're not allowing the defender to make a close on the ball. Now,
Okay, got you.
Between your hand being there and the
Okay.
ball in midair, because it's like if you don't put your hand out there, now it's fair game. The defender got all the room in the world he needs
That's
to
fair.
close on the ball. But if your hand is on his chest, no matter if you push off or not, he can't close in because there's this big, 30-pound tight end arm right here on front of me. He's a little guy. I mean, come on, look at him. I could see if he was a linebacker, then okay, it's like, okay, maybe that linebacker need to get in the gym. But this is a whole cornerback trying to close in on a huge 260-pound, however big he is, tight end with his arm extended. That's not going to happen unless the cornerback holds, which he would have to grab his arm and pull in. Now we got a penalty on
the
the defender, and we don't want that. So in my opinion, the defender did right. He stayed there. He let him keep his hand out in front of him, and he waved his hand like, what's going on? Hey, look.
Yeah.
He got his hand on me, and there's no bumping or touching down the field past 5 yards. So it was a fair call.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We put it that way. Yeah, I can see that as well. Brother Rich, do you want to send out some congratulations to your boy Andy Reid and, Patrick Mahomes boy?
Well, we just want to say pull the tape, check the tape.
Man. Do you know how many?
Some of us on this podcast have said that, this would be the outcome eventually, and that this young man was and is the future of the NFL. He, along with his compadres who formulate this young core of brilliant young men who are playing this position in a way we've never seen it played before. This was the eventual outcome. And when you take a brilliant football mind like Andy Reid, and you take a gifted young man like this, you take that team that has historically been there and gotten there, and you look at them now, and all the pieces are in place, and they have this brilliant leader, and they have Eric Bieniemy as an offensive coordinator drafting up all these plays. This is the outcome. And when we saw that it was going to be quarterback against quarterback, we knew who the eventual winner of that was and should have been. And some of you were a little bit confused, but it's good to see you woke up. So, Double J, I'll
some of you name the some of you. Name the some of yous. Name the some of yous.
Sir,
I'm listening.
Mr. Jones.
Yeah, no Jones is here. No Jones is here. I don't keep up with the Jones. You see this.
Immediate staff. And the members of the, all the Cowboy fans.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, you just make sure that Brian Daboll, you and him don't, Applebee's is not on the menu. Okay, then y'all can't go to Applebee's when y'all should be designing the playbook, because that's who coming here to Cleveland, Brian Daboll. Anywho, you understand? Talking about Mr. Jones's. Did I not say? See, you talking about pull the tape? Do you understand? We got 71 shows we done so far, but I'm gonna go back through. I'm gonna pick a day. I'm gonna go back through. I'm gonna make a show just for Brother Richards and Double J's outtakes. That's what we're gonna call it. Gully, you in? You good? Or you down with them? Pick a side right now. Pick a side. That's what I thought. Ain't nobody picking no side. What? That? Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, because if I pull it, y'all really don't want me to pull the tape. You really don't. You say that, but you don't really want me to pull the tape. Double J. Would you agree that Breland probably should have won MVP?
No, absolutely not.
Oh my gosh, you said that matter of factly, like, oh my God, like it tasted like dirt coming. I mean, my gosh, why? Why not?
Well, there's only one individual that
Oh my
was
goodness.
responsible for that comeback.
Okay, and who was responsible for the comeback? Who was responsible for the comeback, Double J? Tell me who.
Patrick Mahomes.
You said Picard. We're not talking about Star Trek. Who was Picard?
Patrick.
I know what you said. I was being facetiousism. Okay, it's a word and term I mixed together right quick. Okay, I was being condescending. Huh? Yeah, Patrick Mahomes.
There's nobody else you can give that to. That think about this. Andy Reid has had guys like Donovan McNabb. He's been blessed with incredible quarterbacks, Michael Vick, and I do want to point out he's given some of these guys, like Michael Vick, for example, immediately following the release of him in the incarceration, where he's given somebody like Michael Vick a second chance, in which case he took that opportunity and made the most of it. He took a chance on this kid out of Texas Tech, and who was drafted a year prior by the Detroit Tigers.
So wait a minute, Double J, are you suggesting that Andy Reid is one of the few NFL head coaches who's actually, exercising and not paying lip service to, quote unquote, the Rooney Rule?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know what?
Say it then. Say it.
Here's what's great. Here's what I love about this that's not being talked about enough. Not only has he gone about it, but think about how long he's been in the NFL. In a league that is a, what have you done for me lately league. And yet he's been a head coach for the better part of 20 plus years.
I mean,
which not many can say.
Yeah, what?
Additionally,
365 games or something or another.
He is absolutely. And by the time he finishes, he not only, I believe, right now he's already within the top 5 in wins all time, but he arguably might finish within the top 2.
Yeah, I mean, does this
let that part of that sink in when you think of who is executing his X's and O's?
So do you think that this has cemented him, Andy Reid, that is, cemented him as one of the best of all time, this Super Bowl win?
Well, absolutely. He was going to get into Canton regardless.
I think so too. Yeah.
The difference is now there is no question.
There's no, without a doubt. But and here's the killer part though. I mean, they got a good fight, and we're going to talk about the Chiefs' defense too. I think the Chiefs' defense rose to the challenge. They really did. Breland was balling. Breland was balling in that Super Bowl. I don't know why he's not getting more shine or more love. I mean, I understand why Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid getting it, of course, but man, defense. Breland was balling. The Chiefs' defense stepped up, man. They really did. They really, really stepped up. Say what you want about Garoppolo and all that other stuff, but the Chiefs' defense stepped up, man. I was impressed with their defense. You know what I mean? They played. They did what but that's all it take, though. That's what I said. That's where it was, to me, when Brother Rich talking about pull a tape, I said it was a pick 'em. That's what I said. But anyway, Brother Richard just like to throw stuff. He just like to throw stuff at me, man. We've been doing it.
Well, some of us knew that it wasn't a pick 'em. Some of us knew it was going to be Kansas City all the way.
But hold on. All I tried to do was just give love to the fact that finally we was going to get, but it was the most watched.
Once the dog pound was out of it, it was Kansas City all the way.
Oh, stop it. Anyway, Gully, let's go to Gully on this because this I'm telling y'all, me and Brother Rich have been doing this for about 30 years now. It's not gonna never stop. I'm telling you that it's not gonna stop. Gully, do you think Andy Reid going for it on 4th down twice, not once, twice? I say it was huge. Do you think that
it was epic? It was exactly what he needed to do. He was not
exactly.
Andy Reid knows. I think, he knows how big the moment is, and he knows that at 15 years between his last Super Bowl appearance, the timing is of the essence. He's been blessed with the opportunity to avenge, if you will, to rectify coming up short the last time. Also, look at the fact that last year this team did go to a conference championship, so. You can be close and you never realize that you'll never get that close again. In that moment, going forward on 4th and 2 is exactly what you needed to do to get things together, to really give it everything you have. And he had enough in terms of trust of the confidence of the team, confidence of the right play to call, and the guts and the fortitude to go for it. So definitely it was a great call. It was a call that needed to be made. I will say too, my mind picked the 49ers to win now, and I stand by why I picked them. Only because with Patrick Mahomes, how Patrick Mahomes led the turnaround proves that with stats quantify the eye test, it can never qualify an eye test. And it'll never show up. This is why statisticians will always point to stats when they're trying to prove who they think is the best player. But guys who see the moment sees that stats are not in there. Stats don't. There are no stats to show how Patrick Mahomes does what he does to lead a team. There are no stats to show how Brady does what he does in the clutch. There are no stats to really show what the clutch really looks like. There are guys that perform in the clutch. Yeah, we know. And we know that Kyle Shanahan had some issues here in the 4th quarter or whatnot, but that's not the stuff we're talking about.
Yeah,
we're talking about the idea that really, for what it's worth, with Kyle Shanahan going up that big that late, actually Kyle Shanahan did what he did to exercise those demons of his past, and Patrick Mahomes just proved he was on another level.
Yeah, and ain't no stats to show why a guy can go to the free throw line and knock down 2 crucial free throws with a torn Achilles.
Man.
And my bad. I'm sorry. That was last week's show. That was last week's show. My bad. Mamba out.
Never bet on Shanahan, bro.
Yeah, we're not going to even talk about Shanahan because I just, what else can you say? You know what I mean? What's already understood and not be explained.
Not his.
Yeah, it was, but he's a brilliant offensive mind. He is. He just, the moment might just be too big for him. That moment, you know what I mean? Mamba mentality. Some people just do not have. You cannot buy. See, a lot of people out here think you can buy Mamba mentality at Walmart. You can't, or Toys R Us. You can't do it. I'm sorry. You can't go to Home Depot or Lowe's. You're not gonna get a discount or the internet price on it. You can't buy it. You just can't do it. But I'll tell you this, Andy Reid going for it on 4th down, not once, but twice on the biggest stage that there is. Oh, and by the way, wasn't this the most watched Super Bowl, as I was getting ready to say before Brother Richard rudely interrupted me with Jerry Jones talk, as usual. Wasn't this the most watched Super Bowl since something or another? Because the Super Bowl ratings have been down over the last couple of years, even with Brady in them. But they wasn't the other day.
Those are facts.
Yeah, for Andy Reid going for it twice, I'm promising you, maybe it's just me, and maybe I ain't have my reading glasses on. I don't know, but I could have swore I saw Andy Reid on the telephone before he went for either one of them 4th downs. I think he was talking to Herm Edwards, and he was like, play to win the game. He played to win the game. That's all I needed to hear, Herm. Good looking out. Go on out there and go get me a yard. You know what I'm saying? And they went on here and did it. When you got the cojones to go for it on 4th down in the Super Bowl, then you deserve to win. Yeah, twice. Did I not? Yeah, twice. Yeah, twice. Yeah, you deserve to win the game. You played to win the game, and that's exactly what they did. Doc, up 20-10. What was, in your estimation, the play that turned the tide of the game? I'll mention mine as I've written here, but I play to turn the tide. I'm gonna come around to everybody. I want to know what was the play you think that really,
Well,
because football is a momentum thing too. You get what I'm saying? So what was that play in your mind that turned the tide of the Super Bowl 54?
Well, in my mind, the play that turned the game around was when his foot, I forgot, it was the running back. I can't remember which one it was, but he scored the touchdown, but his foot tapped out of bounds, like a hair before the ball crossed the pylon. That right there was kind of momentum shift, because then you seen San Francisco's defense kind of stop playing. Kansas City started running a no huddle. They like, okay, now we getting in these guys' heads, and everybody's, it wasn't a touchdown. It wasn't a touchdown. It was out of bounds. They let that affect them the rest of the game. And after that, Patrick Mahomes and that no huddle offense just kind of took over. The San Francisco 49ers didn't score not another point. Their defense couldn't stop the no huddle. They were winded. They were on the field way too long. And I just feel like that's what kind of shifted everything right there. I feel like if they had a call that play back and it ended up being 4th and goal, and Kansas City had to kick the field goal, then maybe the 49ers might have still had a little bit of momentum in their system. But once that happened, they were kind of just like, all right, we defeated. There's nothing we can do now. It's like Kyle Shanahan kind of just gave up. The defense stopped playing. The offense went on, like, I think it was 2 or 3 consecutive 3-and-outs after that. It's like nobody showed up after that play. They were so focused on, it wasn't a touchdown, instead of going out there and saying, okay, y'all want to get them this touchdown, we don't show y'all why we deserve to win. They didn't have, like you said, they don't have that Mamba mentality. Once they got down from that, they just kind of let that beat them up the rest of the game. And it's like a lot of people want to say, that's what make or break the game. But it's like the San Francisco 49ers still had plenty of time to come back down the field and
Hold that thought.
The game. So
Hold that thought.
You can't.
Hold that thought.
All right.
Because, Doc, you're a part of our co-host panel. It's 5 of us now. I just wanted to mention that to the folks out there. Those who thought about calling or didn't call or whatnot. Did you say there still was enough time to win the game? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's not like the Super Bowl where the Atlanta Falcons was going. Hold on, let me finish for 1 second, just real quick. I want to get off of forget.
Okay.
It's not like it was that play where it was the Patriots versus the Falcons, whatever, in overtime, and James White knee touched the ground right before he scored.
Okay.
The touchdown.
Gotcha.
For the Patriots to win in overtime. It wasn't like it was like that. They still had plenty of time to come back and win the game.
Gotcha.
So we can't just say that, that one call is why we lost. And a lot of San Francisco fans are saying, we got robbed. No, you didn't. Your team gave up on you because they felt some type of way about that play.
Yeah, I was just that part about it was still enough time left. It sounded to me like it was like the Sacramento Kings and Lakers. Pego Stojakovic. Excuse me, sorry. I need to drink some water. Sorry. Yeah. We'd had that discussion before a time or two on the program. Yeah. It was still enough time to win the game. Double J, don't act like that. You know what I'm saying? Let me get a sip right quick.
They Dak Prescott fans. We don't want to hear what they got to say.
No, you don't. Me and Double J was going back and forth about the Sacramento Kings and the Lakers. It was Stojakovic missed that 3-pointer and so on and so forth, and we was talking about the 10 free throws, and I was like, Double J, they still had time to win the game. Oh, they got hoes. Me and Double J. We went back and forth about, 2 weeks, Double J, on that? You should have seen my text messages. Oh, my gosh, my phone, the battery died. We was going back and forth. It was heated. Gully, what was the one moment in Super Bowl 54 that you think turned the tide in the game?
That was it the late in the third quarter. I think that interception where the entire defense went and took that picture.
Oh,
they
wow.
did that taunt, and then when they took that picture. Yeah, and it was when they went up 20-10, when the Niners went up 20-10, and they took that picture, and that cemented that they thought the game was over, and it was way too much time left, and clearly, after that moment, they didn't score again.
Yeah, well, apparently. Double J, what was the one play that stood out to you that you, in your estimation, turned the tide in the game? Super Bowl 54.
The sack on Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that one, but that was a good one too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sack on Jimmy G. Yeah, he didn't really play all that well either. But we talked. I told you, Herm told me a while back, man, about the pressure of a NFL regular season, and then the first round of the playoffs versus the second round, and then the AFC Championship, and if you get to the Super Bowl, he said, man, that pressure, it just go up. It's levels to it for real, man, and you'd be surprised. He said, I don't care how many times you've been there. He said it's almost like the pressure that when you're going up in an airplane, you know what I mean? It get thin up there, baby. It just get thin. It's like being in Colorado. Brother Rich, what was the play that turned the tide in Super Bowl 54 in your estimation?
And that's why for me, mine is not a particular play. Mine is a moment. And that moment was at halftime when I felt like so many people who observed this young quarterback coming out after the week of Kobe Bryant, all the pressures you just described that our host, our professional player host has described to you about the kind of pressure that builds up on you when you're in that kind of environment. Mm-hmm. And as a young player with all that pressure on him, there was a moment for him where he settled down. And everybody understood once he settled down, and that's why Gully pointed out, when they celebrated too early, they did not factor in that this young man had not quite gotten into his groove. And if you look at the first couple of throws he threw in the first half, they weren't quite there. They weren't as accurate. They were a little off, either early or too late. And once he settled down, you saw who he was and why he was the eventual MVP of the Super Bowl in the second half.
No argument from me. Well, the play for me that stood out, up 20-10, as Gully pointed out, it was that 44-yard pass to Tyreek Hill on 3rd and 15. If the Chiefs, and I know if the lady across the street had a mustache, she'd be somebody's uncle, I get it. Had they not scored on that possession, we might be talking about a different game. I'm just saying. All this talk leading up to this big game about Richard Sherman and 49ers pass defense, which was legit for the most part. Because we said the front four, once and I think they front four ran out of gas, which I had never seen nothing like that before. When you can do what you do up front with four, it should help everything out on the back end. Typically it does. And it had worked for a point for the Niners. But for whatever reason, on 3rd and 15, how he got that wide open was unbelievable to me. Once that happened, and the Chiefs then, I think it was I forget what other play happened, and they got down to like the 1 yard line. Once they scored, once the game was 20-17, excuse me, whether you were a Niners fan, Chiefs fan, or otherwise not a fan, but was watching that game, you knew at that moment, because I watched the first half, okay? And when I went in to work, they had the TVs going or whatever, and I was one or two people in my unit, you know what I mean? So I had to do, I had to get y'all's mail out, you know what I mean? Y'all can thank me later. I know everybody got their taxes or W-2s on time. You can thank me later. But they had the TVs, they got TVs set up, where they be showing mostly business stuff in the other time, but they had it to the game. So I was kind of watching it, but working, and not watching it, but working. You know how it is, right? Not comfortable, but still enough to see enough. When I saw that play, I said, that's it. It's over. And I went on ahead and I ain't watched the rest of it. Didn't need to. I knew the Chiefs was going to win at that point. You cannot allow for that kind of play to take place if you're the San Francisco 49ers. You just can't. 3rd and 15, you know what that was reminiscent of, Gully? You know where I'm going, don't you?
I think I do.
Yeah. You know what that was reminiscent of, right? In that moment, see, Shanahan get a lot of flack, and I get why he get a lot of flack, but in that moment, up to that point, Shanahan was doing what Shanahan needed to do. Let's be real. That was on my man in the defensive staff on that one. You can't, or I don't know if it was a breakdown. I got to go look at the play again. He was too wide open. On 3rd and 15, please tell me they didn't pull a Marty Schottenheimer. I don't understand how did nobody take no lessons from that 3rd and 18 that we had Elway in when the Browns played the Broncos in the AFC Championship. And the Browns were up in that game. 3rd and 18, and they play a prevent defense. And guess what? They played a prevent defense, the Browns did, with arguably, according to NFL history, because I watch the NFL Network, and they do it all the time. They do a top 10 list all the time about the top 10 cornerback tandems in NFL history. You know who number 1 on that list, don't you? Either number 1 or number 2. Sorry, I can't remember. It's been a while since I saw them. Either way it go, they in the top 3.
Well,
Minifield and Dixon. That's right. Minifield and Dixon is in the top 3 of the NFL, and the NFL did this top 10 list, not me, in NFL history in cornerback tandems. And Marty Schottenheimer had 2 of the top corners in the NFL history on his team. And you go to a prevent, that was on the 49ers, man. My man Tyreek should have never, ever been that wide open. Fellas, I want to thank y'all for joining me. I'm glad we was able to recover and do this show. Because, boy, it didn't start out pretty well. But, again, that's how we do at the shop, baby. You know what I'm saying? And the walk-ins and the welcome and the whole thing and the holler. Y'all know how we get down, right? I want to thank y'all again for joining me on the program today. And on that note, it's been fun. But we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out right here on the Spreaker.com network. Of course, you go to Spreaker.com. In the search box, you can type in the Shop Report. Oh, and while you're there, please give a subscribe. Will you do that for me, please? I appreciate you. Or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast and give us a follow. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And if you want to just let us know how the show went, how the show didn't go, make any suggestions, you can get at us via email to shopreport365@gmail.com. And if all that don't work, Google it. For my mans Be Rich, Double J, D Gully, and Doc, and all those who follow and support us, we say thank you. Barbershop J, and you've been listening to the Shop Report. Remember, next time you want to know what's going on, come to the shop, man. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.
Yeah, he should have. So is Devin Booker.